Yeah.
Adrenaline. So an adrenaline-filled 3-day affair, staged,
Staged.
staged.
Yeah. Set up, stage is set up.
So it should be connected, like a 3-day affair staging.
Stage, yeah, a
Annual
3-day, an
stage.
adrenaline-filled 3-day affair staged annually in Washington.
So
3-day affair is like together. 3-day affair
3-day
staged
affair.
annually. Yeah.
Oh, so it's to describe this affair is staging
Mm.
annually. Oh,
Staged. It's like
stage
yeah.
like this. And adrenaline
Mm-hmm.
an adrenaline-filled 3-day affair staged annually in Washington, D.C. and broadcast a
Broadcast.
broadcast is cast
Yeah,
okay
cast.
cast a broadcast live on ESPN, which normally focuses its programming on stakes
High stakes sports.
high stakes sports matchups.
Match.
This
Match up.
so
Match
it's
ups.
show a
Yeah.
match
Right.
match up. This kid must first outspell spell spell
Outspell. Outspell. You're right.
outspell 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 thousands of other students from hundreds of schools across the country. This means spelling increasingly obscure,
Obscure.
obscure,
Obscure.
obscure, obscure.
Yeah.
This means spelling increasingly obs- obscure, obscure,
Mm-hmm.
obscure words
Obscure.
without a single error.
Mm-hmm.
In round after round, first besting,
Besting.
all first besting all the other students in the content contestant
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
contestant
Contestant.
contest contestant classroom. Then in their grade, school, district, and region. Also obscure is what does it mean? Obscure.
When we say obscure, it means like it's not certain, it's not known, it's not discovered, it's not obvious, it's unclear.
Foggy. Oh,
Yeah.
it's it's foggy. Is it
Foggy, not clear.
foggy?
Yeah.
Foggy. Yeah. Okay. Obscure. So how can I use this word? I mean, it always describe the word
Or a situation, or anything
situation.
that is not clear. So, for example, we can say that your answer to my question is kind of obscure and confusing.
Obscure.
Yeah, so it means in here, in this situation, the
Yeah,
words are obscure, that it's
the
kind
word
of
is
making it difficult for the contestants to really guess the spelling. Because like the word may be difficult, and there are hidden words that will not be pronounced, so it's obscure words.
obscure.
Yeah.
Okay, obscure. Got it. Um, spellbound.
Spellbound.
Spellbound got me wondering to what extent is flawlessly,
Flawless. Flawlessly.
flawlessly,
Flaw. Yeah, flaw.
flawlessly.
Right.
To what extent is flawlessly spelling words like
That's
Stra-
Scottish. Yeah.
Scottish, Scottish and Simotrus,
Simotricus, right?
Simotricus, a matter of precocious,
Precocious, yeah.
precocious
Schottish.
Verbal? Verbal.
That would be verbal.
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 Yeah.
Precocious verbal talent.
Schottish.
Yeah.
So precocious.
By the
It's
way,
me. Yep.
this one, the Scottish is not really Scottish. That's pronounced as, let me share it to you, okay? So they pronounce it as
Schottish.
shaddish. Shaddish.
Shaddish.
Yeah. And
Shaddish.
shaddish, yeah.
Shad.
And what that is,
Kind of the dancing form.
like it's kind of like, you're right, a slow polka or a slow dance like that. And the
And
second word,
yeah, second word.
Simotricus. Have you heard that before?
No, no. What does it mean?
Simotricus is like having
No.
a wavy way, like when we pronounce words like that, there's kind of like wave, like a wave in our hair in a
Oh,
Simotricus way, like that.
Simotricus.
Yeah. So I'm gonna
It's not common to use that word, right?
definitely not.
Just say the curved hair.
Wavy hair, curvy hair,
Oh,
like that.
waving hair.
Yeah.
Oh, I
And
see.
precocious. When we say precocious, it means that when something is a little bit mature, then it should be, like, for example, a precocious child, a child that is advanced, earlier than his or her age, like
Oh,
that. Precocious.
so precocious child.
Precocious
Can
child,
we?
precocious verbal talent, it
Precocious.
means really a mature and advanced talent than what the person should have, like a
But
great talent.
yeah. But this word is more formal, right?
Formal, not so common like that.
So when I describe the children, child is more precocious.
It can
What
be
would
in what
you say?
way? It can be in,
Yeah.
in, in many ways. It can be in a good way, it can be in a bad way. It can be in a bad way, for example, if we say precocious little brat, you know.
Precocious.
Precocious little brat. That means that
Oh.
the person, the child, is behaving much older than they are.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah.
Precocious.
But it can be in a good way. So, for example, I could say, Lucy was a verbally precocious child. Means Lucy can speak well like an adult.
Oh, verbally.
Yeah.
Precocious child. Oh.
Were you a
So,
precocious child when you were young, verbally?
no, I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't.
Alright.
Yeah. So, when I use the easy way to describe the children is precocious, what would you say?
Um, well, precocious in what way? Advanced
But
in what way? So
mature.
you have to think of what way. Maybe on your observation, precocious mentally, for
Oh,
example, little Jelme, my baby, for example, little Jelme is, precocious mentally because, like, she can think in advance that normal child wouldn't think, like that.
oh,
You have to
God.
think of what way, precocious in what way, you know.
About the thinking, maybe sometime.
Thinking, yeah,
Yeah.
thinking, singing, verbally, whatever.
Oh, precocious. Okay, got it. So, precocious ver- verbal talent,
Mm.
and to what extent is great at play. I call the beast
Mhm.
exact executive director a dynamic woman
Mm.
and former champion
Champion,
speller
champion,
cham- champion
yeah.
champion and former champion speller herself named Peg is Peg A
That's Paige Kimball.
H Page Kimball. Kimball was as curious as I was up
Curious,
to Cambia. Pardon?
curious.
Cur- curious.
Yeah, curious.
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 Pardon.
Curious.
Curious.
Yeah.
curious. Is it correct?
That's right.
Curious.
Curious.
Curious. Okay. So Kimbo was as curious as I was to learn more about the psychological makeup of winners. What's a makeup?
Psychological makeup is not necessarily the makeup we put on our face, you know. Psychological makeup is like what makes their brain, what is their brain composed of? How is their brain or their psychology, their thinking kind of made of? So makeup here is a composition.
Oh,
Yeah.
composition.
Right.
Psychology makeup. Psychology makeup.
What is your
Guys,
psychology made up, or what is, you know, like
to
composition?
make up your
Mm,
mental, kind of like this.
yeah. So for example, maybe we could say, um, what is this what's the original here? The psychological makeup. What is the original, or what is the material that this book is makeup
It's
of, you know?
all
So
right.
it's makeup of maybe paper, ink, like that, you know. So what it is made of, or how
Ma-
is it composed, you know?
Oh, I see. So it's the psychological makeup of winner. It's mean the winner's psychology makeup. Yeah, the mental health kind of value. I
Yeah.
see. Yeah. She agreed to send our oh no. She agreed to send out questionnaires.
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 Questionnaires. Nares.
Questionnaires. Questionnaires.
Questionnaires.
Questionnaires.
Yeah.
Questionnaires. Questionnaire.
Nares. Yep.
She agreed to send out questionnaires to all 273 spellers just as soon as they qualified for the finals, which would take place several months later. In return for the princely prince,
Princely
princely
reward.
of reward, princely reward of a $25 gift card. About two-thirds of the spellers returned the questionnaires.
Mm-mm.
Returned the questionnaire to my lab. The oldest respondent was 50 years old.
Mm.
The absolute age limit
The absolute age limit. Age limit.
the the, abs, the absolute age limit according to
Yeah.
rule
Mm.
competition rules, and the young guest was just seven.
Seven. Seven.
Seven.
Yeah, seven.
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 Seven. Seven.
Yeah.
11. Seven.
Mm-hmm.
Just seven. In addition to completing the Greek skill, spellers reported how much time they devoted to spelling practice. On average, they practice more than an hour a day on weekends and more than 2 hours a day on weekdays. Oh, weekends.
Weekdays and then weekends.
Weekdays and week. Oh, yeah. Weekend.
Mm.
But there was a lot of variation around these averages. Some spellers were hardly studied at all,
Variation.
and some were studied
Variation.
as much as 9 hours on a given Saturday. Surprisingly, separately,
Mhm.
separately,
Separately.
separate. So it's not long A.
Yeah, kind of like
Separate.
separately. Separate.
Separately,
Yeah.
separately.
Mhm.
I contacted
I contacted.
I contacted a subsample
Mhm.
of spellers and administrated
Administered.
administered
Administered.
administered
Yeah.
administered
So it's from administer.
administered
Administered.
administered, administered,
And
and
administered.
administered.
Mm.
A Bible, I,
A verbal.
Bible, verbal,
Yeah.
verbal,
Administer.
right, right. Administered a verbal intelligence test as a group. A speller
Intelligence. Intelligence.
intelligence, oh,
Yeah.
right, intelligence. A verbal intelligence test.
Test.
Test,
Test. Yeah.
test. Yeah. A verbal intelligence test
Hmm.
as a group. The spellers demonstrated unusual verbal
Yeah.
ability, but there was a fairly wide range of scores,
Hmm.
with some kids scoring at a verbal prod, prod, prodigy,
Prodigy.
prodigy, prodigy level, and others average for their age.
Mm.
Prodigy is prodigy. Prodigy level. What does it mean?
You will know
Prodigy.
because and the others average for their age. So
It's
if it's average, the other one should be like really high level,
Yeah.
advanced
So
level. Great
advanced.
ability. Yeah, great ability, you know. And
Oh.
kind of like really intelligent kind of level.
Intelligent, very intelligent.
Yeah.
Intelligent.
So we can use that in a sentence. So for example, my child, or I want to have a
It's
child.
like genius.
Yeah, a genius. Exactly.
I see. Prodigy. Okay, got it. And when ESPN aired
Mhm.
the final round of the competition, I watched all the way through to the concluding suspenseful
Suspenseful.
suspense and
Suspense. Suspense is from suspense. Yeah.
suspenseful moment when at last
Yeah. When at
13
last, comma.
at
Yeah.
last 13-year-old
Anurag Kashyap.
Kasha,
Kashyap, yeah.
correctly spelled Appoggiatura, a musical term for a kind of grace note, to win the
To win the
championship.
championship. Yeah,
To win the
championship.
championship. Then, with the final reckons in hand, I've analyzed.
Analyze, yeah.
Analyze my data.
Data.
Data. I analyze my data. Here's what I found. Measurement of grades taken months before the final competition predicted how
Predicted.
well
Predicted.
predicted. Okay, so the final competition predicted how well spellers would eventually perform, but simply grittier
Grittier.
kids went farther.
Further. Yeah.
I'm very a little confused the further and
Farther.
it's the meaning is this one. I type it NTHER. This one, this.
Yeah. So,
But-
yeah.
Yeah, it's how to pronounce it and what does it mean?
Okay,
What's different?
What's the difference?
Yeah.
Farther.
What is difference?
Yeah. So let's take first the last farther that you sent. So it's farther. Farther. It means
Farther.
to a greater extent, right, or distance. So, for example, we can say, how much farther is it to the airport?
How
So,
much farther
yeah,
is it airport?
to the airport.
Farther.
And also, we can say, oh, I'm driving using my car right now, but I can't see farther than about 10 feet
Far,
because it's so foggy. So, that's farther. Now, let's talk about the first further. Further, right?
Further.
So it's
further.
further.
Fur, er,
Yeah. So
further.
further here is also referring to a distance, but okay,
Yeah,
let's take the difference between the two. Okay, aside from the pronunciation, right? Okay. So an example that we can use it because it's still about the distance, right? Like
yeah, right.
not at a more than certain degree of level. So
Yeah,
um, let's see the example
fur,
here. Every day she sinks
further.
further
Fur,
and further into depression. So it's like more and more, like deeper and deeper,
deeper
right?
and deeper.
Yeah.
Oh, so
So what's the difference?
um um
What difference can you
um
see?
further.
Okay.
I
Yeah?
just think the first one, father, is real
Mm,
this
yeah, you got
distance,
that.
and the second one is abstract.
Abstract, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, not
abstract.
measurable. Exactly. That's it.
Right,
That's just
abstract.
it.
Oh, that's okay.
That's just
So
it.
in this case, you use the further, getting further. Oh, getting further.
Because
Okay,
it's
got it.
intelligence, right? It's
Yeah.
abstract like that.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Mm.
So further. So in here, put simply, greater kids went further in competition. How did they do it? By studying many more hours and also by completing in more spelling bees. What about talent? Verbal intelligence,
Intelligence. Intelligence.
intelligence,
Yeah.
intelligence, verbal intelligence also predicted getting further
Yeah.
in competition, but there was no relationship at all between verbal IQ and grit. What's more, verbally
Predict.
talented spellers did not study any more than less able spellers, nor did they have a longer track records record of competition.
Record. A longer track record.
So, uh, nor did they have a longer track record of
Mm,
track record is I got it.
yeah, it's the
Record,
noun, right? The thing that they
yeah,
recorded. If it's a
track
verb, record.
record.
Yeah.
Yeah, record is verb
Mm.
and record is noun. Okay, so longer track record of competition. The separation of grades and talent emerged again. In the separate study, I ran on Ivy, uh,
Mm.
Ivy,
Yeah.
Ivy League undergraduate
Undergraduates.
and the grad. So it's the
Grad.
short, yeah,
Ah, yeah.
grad, undergraduate,
Undergraduates.
undergraduate. Their SAT scores and grades were, in fact, inversely corrected.
Correlated.
Oh,
Correlated. Yeah.
correlated.
Inversely
Uh,
correlated means
opposite.
opposite. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
in the contrast,
Yeah, in contrast.
in
Correct.
contrast.
It's
Yeah,
like
in
this,
contrast.
right? One is up,
Right,
one
right,
is going down.
right, right.
Yeah.
In fact, inversely correlated students in that select sample who had higher SAT scores were, on average, just slightly less gritty than their peers. Putting together this finding with the other data I'd collected, I came to a fundamental insight that will guide my future work. Our potential is one thing. What we do with it is quite another.
What we do with it is
With
quite
it,
another, right?
with
With
it,
it.
with
Yeah.
it,
Do you
with
agree
it.
with that line? Are you in favor with that
Yeah.
line? And tell me why.
Um. It. Mm, it mean why?
It
Because
means it
yeah,
means
it is so far I think the author is always talking about their talent and how can I say that, and getting hard work on
mhm.
one thing, and why.
So just give me an example, for example,
Yeah.
about your potential. Our potential is one thing, but what we do with our potential is quite another. So can you give a specific example of that?
Mm, oh,
Yeah.
like the I think like the athlete,
Mm-mm.
many, yeah, it's like they have to practice their um how can I say it.
What potentials do you see in a person? What are the examples of potentials? Potentials are like talents, right? Or natural ability. So, for example, a
Also,
person.
yeah,
Uh huh.
also the musician, yeah,
Yeah,
if
exactly.
they have the talent but they still have need to practice more,
Yeah.
otherwise, yeah,
Okay. So what we do
yeah,
with our potential is another thing, right? So like it's saying here that our potential is one thing, but we cannot just rely on the potential. We need to
yeah,
do something
right,
to make our
we,
potential, you know, make us endure difficult things like that and make us,
yeah.
last longer, right? Okay.
Yeah, recently I saw the one of the series, kind of series talk is mean the confident competency loop. It
Um,
mean if you
uh-huh.
feel confident and to learn something, and
Uh-huh.
that will be the loop. You confident and you will be competency of it.
Competent. You mean you'll be competent?
Competence, competence. Yeah.
Oh, that's really
Competence.
interesting.
You know that I can show you. It's interesting, and they have the five step.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I think confident, let me then content. Oh, I know this one.
Let me see.
This how can I show you here?
Where?
I sent you.
I
This,
think it's still going.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, this is cool. Okay, tell me
Maybe
about it. Come on. It's your turn. It's your time to tell me about it.
it's mean
It means.
when you want to learn something, you have to be confident first, and then you have to. It's a loop,
Mm-hmm.
and if you're confident, and then let me, and you have to say the objective, like the what skill you want to learn it, and
Mm-hmm.
then you just practice and practice it, and then you can find a friend or other person to give you a feedback.
Mm-hmm.
Then yeah, and you may have these competence
Yeah, you'll
to
develop
find.
competence
Yeah,
eventually, right?
then you and it's a loop, and you will be more confident of it. Yeah.
That's good. Great job.
Yeah.
See? Okay. By the way, I have to give you a feedback. Feedback is really
Yeah.
important. You
Right,
said
right,
it's
right.
mean. You have to say it means. Put the
It
S
means.
beside
Oh,
means.
right,
It
right, right. It
means.
means. Thank
Yeah.
you. It means.
Right. And I agree with you. Feedback is so important, because sometimes like we think we know what we know, but maybe it's wrong, so we need somebody to
Right.
tell us, right? Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So like you give me the feedback, and it's so good.
And you give me two. If
Yeah,
ever
yeah,
there are any, okay? Mm.
yeah. Thank you. Okay. So we. Oh yeah, we finished chapter 1.
Yeah, we
Wow,
did.
that's great. Finally. So yeah, should you think I can continue
Yeah,
or
go ahead. Let's do it.
chapter 2? That's great. Distracted by talent. Before I was psychologist, I was teacher. It was in the classroom years before I've even heard of bees that I began to see that talent is not all there is to achievement. I was 27 when I started teaching full time. The month before, I quit my job.
Quit. I'd quit.
Quit. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
quit. I quit. I quit my job at Mackenzie.
Mackenzie. Mackenzie.
Mackenzie. Mackenzie, a global management consulting
Firm.
whose firm. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
consulting firm whose New York City office up, occupies several floors of
Several. Several.
several
Several. Yeah.
several floors of the blue glass sky skycraft sky crafter
Scraper. Of
scraper
a blue glass skyscraper.
scraper,
Yeah.
a blue glass
Oh, you have a
sky.
call.
Oh, it's okay.
Okay.
Skyscraper in
Skyscraper.
scraper
Yeah.
skyscraper in Midtown.
Hmm.
My college were a
Colleagues.
bit
Colleagues.
colleagues. Colleagues. All
Yeah.
right. Colleagues. My colleagues were a bit bewildered, bewildered,
Bewildered.
bewildered
Like
by my
confused.
decision.
Can't believe it. Bewildered.
Bewildered. It's like a confused,
That they
a
can't
little
believe it. Yeah.
okay, bewildered. So what's different? And when I make the conversation, it's common to use this word.
Bewildered is like a not common word. It's like a higher vocabulary than just confused. So like if you use bewildered, people would think, oh,
Older.
you have a nice vocabulary. So bewildered here simply means
Oh,
confused and not sure, you know.
so can I say I'm a little bewildered?
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
It's weird.
You can. It's not weird. It's just
I
not.
can
It's not just
actually.
common.
It's not
Yeah.
weird.
You seem
Oh, okay.
bewildered. Do you have any
Bewildered.
questions like that?
Colleague.
Colleagues.
My
Colleagues.
colleagues.
Yeah.
Colleagues. My colleagues were a bit bewildered by my decision. Why leave a company that most of my peers were dying to join? One regular,
Regularly.
one regularly signed single out
Mm.
as one of the world's smartest and most influential.
Mm.
Why say that? One regularly signed out.
Singled
Signed
out.
out.
Singled
Oh,
out.
single out. What is
Yeah.
single?
Singled out, it means like it's treated, it's like picked, by maybe in that society as the world's smartest and most influential company. Singled out, for example, I can say CCTV news is like regularly singled out in China as the best news program. Singled out means picked by an
Pick.
organization or maybe many people as the best. Singled out.
Oh, so
Yeah.
select.
Yeah. Um, so
Select
it
out.
hmm
Select. Pick up.
pick, treat
Single
out like
pick.
that.
Oh, one of the words regularly. Oh, I see. Okay. And acquaintance.
Acquaintances, acquaintances,
Acquaintances.
acquaintance. Yeah, acquaintances.
Acquaintances
Yeah.
assumed I was trading
Mm-hmm.
8 hours work weeks for a more relaxed lifestyle. But of course, anyone who's been a teacher knows that always it was consulting. It was
Consulting. Yeah.
consulting is correct. Not teaching. It was the detour. Throughout college,
College.
throughout college, I tutored and mentored kids from the local public schools after graduation. So
Graduation.
it's graduate. Yeah, I'm
Grad.
thinking. I just thinking about it. After after graduation, I studied a tuition-fee academic enrichment program
Mm-hmm.
and ran it for 2 years.
Wow.
Then Oxford, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oxford.
Oxford. You're right.
Oxford. Then I went to Oxford and completed
Yeah.
a degree in neuroscience. Studied the neural mechanisms
Mechanism. Mechanisms.
mechanisms.
Yeah.
Study the neural mechanisms of
Dyslexia. Dyslexia.
dyslexia.
Mm.
Dyslexia.
It's a disease, it's a sickness actually affecting our brain, which makes us, makes it someone difficult to read and write. A dyslexic person, it's an illness.
Oh, it's difficult to read and
And write.
write.
Yeah.
Oh, dyslexia.
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 Yeah.
Dyslexia.
Dyslexia.
Dyslexia. Okay. So when I started teaching, I feel like I was back on track. Even so, the transition was abrupt.
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 The transition was abrupt. In a single week, my salary went from seriously, I actually get paid this much to wow, how the heck do teachers in the city make ends meet?
Mhm.
Oh, dinner was now a sandwich eaten hurriedly,
Hurriedly. You're right.
while grabbing paper.
Grading papers.
Grading. Grading
Like,
is mean that sandwich is wrapping. Wrap the paper.
Grading
Rest by
papers
paper.
means the teacher is eating while checking papers, grading them. What's their score? Checking the papers. Teachers are busy, right? So they will have to eat hurriedly while checking the test papers, grading the test papers of
Oh,
the
they,
students. Yeah.
so okay. While grading paper. Also,
Uh,
it mean it. Oh, it grading paper.
grading.
Okay,
Mm.
grading paper. Not ordered.
Sushi.
Not sushi. Ordered at the client's expense.
Mm-hmm.
I commute to work on the same subway.
I commuted.
Oh, commuted.
Yeah.
I commuted to work on the same subway line, but stayed on the train past Midtown. midtown,
Mm.
getting off six stops. You see, this
Yeah,
one is
yeah.
farther south,
Yeah, correct. Farther
farther
south.
south, farther south. So this one is real distant,
Mm-hmm.
farther south. The lower east side, instead of palms, piers, and
Pearls.
a
Pearls.
pearl,
Pearls.
pearl,
Pearls.
pearls,
Yeah.
pearls. In, instead of
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
instead of palms, spurs, and a tail,
Tailored.
tail, tailored tailor suit.
Mm-hmm.
I wore sensible shoes I could stand in all day,
Mm.
and dresses I wouldn't mind getting covered in chalk.
Chalk. Yeah, pumps here
Chalk.
is a type of shoe, right? It's like a ballet dancer shoe, worn by women. So that's a pump. Pumps.
Palm. All these palms
Yeah.
and
And
pear,
pearls. Pearls is like
pearl.
like the jewelry made of pearl with circles, pearl, like a stone, small white circle. I'll show you.
Oh,
Pearl. So
pearl.
so here because like let me show you a pearl. You know pearl, right? You have seen that before, I knew. Pearl necklace. So it's kind of like this. I'll show you a picture of it.
I
It's
think
pretty. I like pearl.
pearl.
Yeah. It can. Oh, what did I do? No, not that one. Copy image. Okay, right there, right here. Pearl. Yeah. Do you see the picture? It's right there.
Oh,
That's
pearl.
pearl.
Oh,
Pearl necklace,
pearl.
pearl earrings, anything.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
that's made of
got it.
pearl.
Pearl. It's pearl. And tailor suit. It's
Tailored, tailored.
tailor. Tailor.
Yeah.
Tailor suit. Okay, got it. And my students were 20 and 13 years old. Most live in the housing project cluster between avenues A
Mhm.
and B and D. This was before the neighborhood spur
Sprouted.
sprouted
Hip
sprout.
cafes. Yeah.
It's the name of cafe.
Hip cafes.
Hip,
Yeah, hip cafes is like urban cafe, like a high-end coffee shop, like nice coffee shops like that.
so it's sprouted. What does it mean? The sprouted.
When we say sprouted, it means like, it's like plants that been sprouting quickly, growing quickly, like
Yeah.
that.
So uh, sprouted heat before the so it become many
Proliferous. Yeah,
cafes.
you can say it became hip cafes became proliferous. Means many, a
Oh,
lot, like plants growing
proliferous.
wherever.
Oh,
Proliferous.
proliferous. Oh, I see. Proliferous. Okay, so on every corner, the fall I started teaching there, our school was picked for the set of a movie about a rough and tumble school
Mm-hmm.
in a distressed
Mm-hmm.
urban neighborhood. My
Neighborhood.
job,
Neighborhood.
na- oh, neighbor,
Yeah. Yeah.
neighborhood. My job was to help my students learn seventh grade math.
Mm.
Wait,
Yeah.
fractions, and this decimal
Decimals.
dec-
Decimals.
decimal, fraction,
Decimals. Yeah.
decimal, and the rudimentary,
Rudimentary. Rudimentary.
rudimentary building blocks of all algebra,
Algebra. Algebra.
algebra and geometry,
Geometry. Geometry.
geometry,
Yeah, geometry.
geom-
Rudimentary is just basic, okay. Rudimentary.
rudimentary. So rudimentary, okay, it's all about the math. It doesn't matter.
Basic
Okay,
algebra, basic
yeah,
geometry, like that.
rudimentary. Okay, even that first week, it was obvious that some of my students picked up mathematical
Hmm.
concept more easily than their classmates. Teaching the most talented student in the class was a joy. They were quite literally quick students.
Quick studies.
Oh, quick study, yeah, quick studies without much
Prompting.
prompting.
Yeah.
Without much prompting, they saw the underlying
Yeah.
pattern. They saw the underlying pattern in a series of math problems that lays on the that these able students struggle to
Hmm.
grasp.
To get, to
Let,
understand, to grasp.
yeah, let watch me do a problem once on the board on the
Board.
board.
Yeah, on the board.
I sometimes I'm confused board and these two board. How the
Board.
pronunciation?
Broad.
Broad.
Yeah.
It's broad. Board
Board.
and
Broad. Broad.
board broad.
Yeah.
So this one is board. On the board and say, I get it, and then work out, and work out the next one correctly on their own. And yet, at the end of the first marking period, I was surprised to find that some of these very able students were doing as well as I'd expected. Some did very well, of course, but more than a few of my most talented students were earning lackluster,
Lackluster. Yeah.
right? Were earning lackluster grades or worse. In contrast, several,
Several.
right? You told told me
Several. Yeah.
several. In contrast, several of their students who initially struggled were faring better than I expected. These overachievers reliably
Yeah.
come to class every day with everything they needed. Instead of playing around and looking out the window, they took note and asked questions. When they didn't get something at first time around, they tried again, sometimes coming for extra help during their lunch period.
Lunch
During
period.
the lunch it's lunch
Launch.
lunch lunch
Yeah.
during their lunch period or during afternoon electives. Their hard work showed in their grades. Apparently, aptitude did not guarantee
Guarantee.
achievement.
Did not guarantee.
Guarantee. Okay. Apparently, aptitude did not guarantee achievement. talent for math were different from excelling
Excelling. Excelling. Yeah.
excelling. Talent for math was different from excelling in math class. This came as a surprise. After all, conventional wisdom say
Wisdom. Conventional wisdom.
wisdom.
Wisdom, yeah.
After all, conventional wisdom say that math is a subject in which the more talented students are expected to excel.
Excel. Excel.
Excel.
Yeah.
Excel. Leaving classmates who are simply not math people
Mm-hmm.
behind. To be to be honest, to
To
be
be
honest,
honest, yeah.
right? To be honest, I
Mm-hmm.
began the school years with that very assumption.
Mm-hmm.
It seems a sure bet. It seems a sure bet that, right?
Yeah.
It
It
seems
seemed
a
a
sure
sure
bet.
bet that those for whom, you
So
know,
I can start here.
yeah, cut.
It's
It seemed a sure bet that those for whom things came easily would continue to outpace their classmates. Cool.
it seems a sure bet that those for whom things hmm, that those for whom things can easily. I think the tone I read is weird.
It seemed a sure bet that those for
Yeah.
whom things came easily would continue to outpace their classmates. So it seemed a sure bet, caught, that those for whom things came easily, caught, would continue to outpace their classmates. Yeah.
So it seems a sure bet that those for whom things can easily will continue to outpace
Yeah.
their classmates. In fact, I expected that the achievement gap separating the natural
Separating the naturals,
sap pardon again
separating, separating.
separating.
Yeah.
Okay. In fact, I expected that the achievement gap separating the naturals from the rest of the class would only widen over time.
Mm.
I've been distracted by talent. Gradually,
Hmm.
I began to ask myself hard questions when I taught a lesson and the concept failed to gel. Yeah,
Gel,
it's what
failed to gel.
gel,
Yeah,
gel,
right.
failed to gel, gel,
Gel, like hair gel.
gel,
Sticky and
yeah, gel,
hard. Yeah.
failed to gel. Could it be that the struggling student needed to struggle just a bit longer? Could it be that I needed to find a different way to explain what I was trying to get across?
Hmm.
Before jumping before jumping to the conclusion that talent was
Destiny.
destiny,
Destiny.
that
Destiny. Yeah.
destiny, destiny.
Was
That
destiny.
talent was destiny. Should I be considering the importance of effort? And as a teacher, wasn't it my responsibility to figure out how to sustain effort, both both the students and my own, just a bit longer?
Mm.
At the same time, I began to reflect on how smart even my weakest, weak,
Weakest students.
weakest, even my weakest students sounded sounded. Again, how smart even my weakest students sounded when they talk about things that genu- uh, ge-
Genuinely.
gen- genu- genuinely,
Genuinely.
genuinely,
Let me show you.
gen-
Okay.
Genuinely.
Genuinely. Genuinely.
genuinely, genuinely, genuinely,
Yeah.
genuinely, genuinely. So, uh, they talk about things that genuinely interested them. These were conversations I found almost impossible to follow. Discourage, discur, dis, again,
Discourses. Yeah.
discourses,
Yeah.
discourses, discourses is the
Like a discussion. Discussion about
discussion
something.
of
Yeah.
courses. Okay. Discourses on basketball statistic.
Mm-hmm. Statistics.
The
Statistics.
statistics
Basketball statistics.
on basketball statistics. The lyrics to songs they really like
Mm-hmm.
and complicated
Mm-hmm.
pl- plot
Plot lines. Plot lines.
plotline and complicated plotline about who was no longer speaking to whom and why and why. When I got to know my students better, I
Better.
discovered
Better.
better.
Yeah.
Oh, when I got to know my student better, I discovered that all of them had mastered mastered
Mastered.
mastered all of them had mastered any number of complicated ideas in their very complicated daily lives.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, was getting X all by itself in an
Al
algebra,
algebraic. Algebraic.
algebraic, algebraic,
Bright. Algebraic.
algebraic,
Mm-hmm.
algebraic equations in an algebraic equation all that much harder. My students weren't e-
Equal.
equally.
Yeah.
My students weren't is
Weren't.
weren't
Weren't. My students
weren't
weren't.
weren't
Yeah.
weren't. My students weren't equally talented. Still, when it come to
When it came.
learning, oh yeah, can too. When it came to learning seventh grade math, could it be could it be that if they and I
If they and I mustered.
mastered
Mm,
uh and I mastered sufficient effort over time.
mm.
Master is uh what is master?
Mustard is like to
Gather,
produce, yeah, to gather like that,
gather,
to encourage something, when then I mustered sufficient effort, gather,
gather. Oh, okay.
produce the effort that they needed like that.
Oh, I mastered sufficient effort over time. Let's get to where they needed. Surely, I thought, they were all talented enough. Whew, finally. Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank
we
you
can
very
take a
much.
break right here.
Yeah.
Okay, well done. All right, there you go.
Thank
You're
you.
getting, like faster and faster in reading, and it's
Already.
good that you
I just
read
made
in advance. You
I
know,
previewed it. Yeah,
it
I
makes a
previewed it.
difference, right?
Yeah, yeah, make a difference. So I'm gonna do that. Yeah.
I think
And
so.
yeah,
Right.
thank you very much. Yeah,
You're
thank you
welcome.
for your time.
You're welcome,
Yeah.
Z-Fire. By the way, do you have any
Yeah.
questions about, these right here?
Mm, no, I think just pronunciation I have to review it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I find the audio book and so I can follow it and review it. And yeah, I'm trying to like what you said and to make the concept of to find the main idea of the
Right.
paragraph. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
trying to do that. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. And
and
also with
it's
the
kind of hard for me. I'm
uh
not really good at to express the my idea you know,
Just
my
let
speaking have to, still have to, yeah,
we'll keep
improve.
practicing on that. And with the new
Yeah,
words, you can practice how to make sentences with the new words, and like find a
yeah, I think,
chance that you can use them whenever you talk to me, like that. So,
yeah,
like, practice making new sentences with the new words. That way it will
right,
it will stick to our minds, or it will really
yeah,
gel right in our minds when we use it.
yeah, right. Yeah,
Okay.
thank you.
You're
Yes.
welcome, Z Fire. By the way, would you have class tomorrow? Tomorrow is Sunday. Are you gonna take a break,
Uh,
perhaps?
yeah, I think you just say you have time from Thursday to Saturday. Yeah,
Just
the
Saturday, Sunday. Sunday was okay, but would you take
really.
a break on
Oh yeah,
Sunday?
I think I should take a break. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
I'm
definitely.
gonna go out. Yeah,
Yeah, have fun. All
yeah.
right.
Okay, so
Okay.
I see you next Thursday, right?
Thursday, right? Okay.
Here in us.
Going to be
Yeah,
a long weekend for you. All right. So have
right.
a good one, Z Fire,
You
and see you
too. Have a
soon.
good one.
Bye
Yeah, have a good
bye.
weekend. Bye. See you.